Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 17th of June. So starting off looking at the euro dollar first, and well, as expected on Friday we saw continued selling off, much more than expected to be fair, on the euro, but the continuation of this sell-off is there. Now where to from here? Well, probably more of the same. There's little reason to expect anything really too much different, but we are coming across, and you can see it just about on the 4-hourly. It's not quite there, but we're nearly at double bottom sort of territory. You see it clearer here. There we go. So it's around that double bottom territory. We're seeing a reaction to that already. We also have the daily pivot above. Now, just by the very fact that if it runs up to that daily pivot, it will put a fractionally higher low in there. Could make me stand away from it a little bit. It also has its weekly pivot above. It may have a half decent draw towards that sort of those levels. So there's a daily pivot there at 12.32, 33 area, and then 125. What's that? 125.08. 125. 1. There we go. Somewhere in that region. So there may be a draw towards that. What would make me look at that? Well, maybe if it breaks this trend line that's sort of running across this sort of 60-minute chart at the moment. If it runs across these highs there, if it breaks that, well, there's a chance. I say a chance because it's not the best of as you're going against the trend, but at the same time, the probability remains pretty much the same on the weekly and daily pivots of being hit. So there we are. There's the euro. The pound. The pound. It's of a similar sort of nature here. The only difference is it's pretty close to the lows on the daily basis. So those ones on the euro there is slightly a weaker sort of area because probably fewer people will be looking at this. But where it's coming down on the pound here, it's pretty close to those prior lows, and you have to start then looking at, well, where else. Where next? If it's sort of pretty close to those weekly lows, well. We're sort of sitting not far from that 124 area, and we got pretty close to it before late last year, and the absolute lows there was 124. It was 119 actually. It went even lower there on the around about the Brexit sort of lava originally, so 199, so 12 if we said. So got plenty of space for the 12. It's still 400 pips, so but certainly in the near term we've got these lows here which may provide support at times. Now if we break those, particularly if we break the near term level here, well, 124 becomes 125 initially, then 124 becomes possible. So looking here, we could end up with a bit of divergence. It's still pushed, well, it has pushed down. It extremed a little bit on Friday, sold off more than I expected again. Was looking on the short side, and as I say, went well lower, and it's now, well, as I say, at a point again, daily and weekly pivots above. So would I be looking for the? I think the euro is a safer pair of hands than the pound in a sense, with all the lack of prime minister, etc. But it could come back to either that or both the daily and weekly pivots. Dollar yen continue to consolidate here. No real guidance possible in terms of it's marginally higher lows, but we've not gone up and made a new higher high at the moment. So there's this sort of little run up here. Well, actually, arguably it has just put a little on the 4-hourly there. I say just, but ended up putting a higher low in there. There you go. You see on the 60-minute a little bit better. So maybe it's broken out of these lower highs, lower lows sort of shape it was sort of put in last week, and then on Friday sort of rolling back up. But again, we've got weekly pivots and in fact a daily pivot below. So inverted euro pound. If these start all sort of tracking back, well, there's some targets maybe more possible in the yen than the pound, I would imagine. So it's the euro and yen probably got a better chance of coming back. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, as I said in the big picture, there's weakness there, and it surprised me to how far it sort of moved back last week, breaking into the lows there, or just sitting right around the lows on Friday. Again, we've got the weekly and daily pivots sitting above us. Where to from here? Well, it was a clear old week here. This whole area is the week. It's just lower highs, lower lows all the way through. As I often say, it's a better currency to swing than it is to day trade. If you're looking to day trade it, well, maybe a break of the break back above the daily pivot or the trend that's sort of sitting there, very similar to the euro position here, may see it run back towards the weekly. Personally, on some of these, I'd rather just sit there and wait. If it gets hit, I'll look at the short potential from there, but again, you'd have to watch out because they start putting higher lows in, and it may be just a change of shape altogether. We have some really important news coming out on Wednesday. We've got the Fed decisions, etc. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that. I'll talk more about that though in my big picture video. Canadian dollar then, let's just come back to dailies here. Continued pushing up there again, well, more than expected. I really, when I was looking at it on Friday morning, I was almost wondering whether it would roll back over, but it's continued to push up there. Look, it didn't even come back and test my sort of safe point of sell. It never got near it, and it's just carried on going. And at the moment, well, I'm sort of quite surprised at this in terms of the way it's been moving up there. I was looking at if I can only bring it in, oil prices there. There we go. I was looking at what was happening with oil, but oil sort of now it's just consolidated. People talking about it pushing up and pushing up. Well, it's actually consolidated over the last couple of days, rather than pushing up as one would have expected with the situation going on. So all in all, I will be doing my big picture outlook, which will look at the fundamentals, the sentiment of the bigger traders, the central banks, etc. later on this day. But for now, really, it looks like there could be retracements on the pound and the euro and the yen. All three of them, and the Aussie, nothing stopping them. Any of these currencies having a bit of a retracement against the US dollar. But I really would still be betting on the US dollar at the moment as the strongest. That's it for me. I'll speak to you later. Bye for now.